All right, just landed in Fresno, California. Never been this far west before. Flights went pretty smooth, and we're gonna go hopefully try to reach out to the broker and check on the almond orchards here. I'm a little scared to see what the price of the fuel pump's gonna be. That is terrifying. But other than that, I think it's gonna be pretty cool to be out here. And the weather's actually not even that cold. It's weird. I'm on the other side of the country, and I feel like nothing's changed. But well, I don't know what I was expecting. I've just never been this far west before. Gonna be pretty exciting. We'll see what happens. Hopefully here we can go check on some bees and I don't know. I don't have a bee suit. I don't have a smoker. I don't have a hive tool, but I will find a way. This is gonna be my handy dandy bee truck. I'm a little sad. I wanted a Dodge, but we ended up getting a Chevy. And you know, I don't know. I'm sure it's fine. I feel like I'm cheating on my truck, and it's blue, but I'll live. At least we got four-wheel drive. I've heard the mud here is terrible. I've heard nothing but horror stories about how bad the mud is in the orchard, so we made sure we got four-wheel drive. And we're gonna take her off and see what she can do. All right, made it to the first orchard. These are the very first of my hives I've been able to find. And they're looking pretty good. They're pretty active. Got James's hives here. They're holding on. We managed to pop a couple lids, but without a smoker, got tagged a few times. So it was an open and then a quick close. But they seem healthy. Some of them did seem a little bit on the small side, honestly. But and some of them look really nice. It's kind of a mixed bag. I mean, really, just with the shortage this year, is just kind of how it is. I guess they don't really have a choice. Some of these are a little smaller than I would have liked to have sent, but they were desperate, and I know they were happy to have them, and we're getting paid for them, so I'm not going to complain. But pretty crazy to think we're like 2,000 plus miles away from Florida, and the bees are just sitting here. It's pretty cool. Here's the almond orchards where those hives are sitting around. It's crazy. When we landed on the airport, I don't know what I was thinking. I was thinking we were going to have to drive miles and miles out into the wilderness to find these almond orchards. They're literally just smack dab on the edge of town. There's beehives on the side of the road. Everywhere I was seeing was almond orchards, which I know there's a lot of almond orchards out here in California. But it was just so crazy. You'd just be literally driving down the road of a reasonably sized town, and you see these almond groves, and then you would just see beehives on the side of the road. We're out here a little bit off the main road, so we don't have those. I felt really bad because as we were driving down the road, I was hitting a lot of honeybees on the windshield. I'm sure I killed some poor beekeeper, about a dozen of his bees, but they should be okay, and they're looking really good. I spoke to one of the broker's workers is here. He was driving me around showing me. He said this area is actually really safe. He drives out here. He checks on the hives on a regular basis. He actually said some of the farmers put up game cameras because they've had issues with some of their equipment being stolen in the past. So he said actually it's quite safe. And he said he was moving bees the other night, and a cop stopped him because his truck was unmarked, and actually asked him what he was doing, which he was really happy with because, you know, you don't want people driving around in the middle of the night in the orchards because that's how they steal them. So it's nice to know the cops are doing their job. And definitely a peace of mind. I felt my stress level drop significantly. Since I'm being out here, you can see a lot of the buds here have not opened in this orchard. And then we've got some of the flowers here that have just recently begun to open. And that's an almond. You know, one flower will make one almond. It's got to be pollinated by a bee. So these are actually beginning to open, but they're not in full bloom. We passed a ton of orchards that are in like full on 100% bloom going. So actually, I think, yeah, there probably was right us having to send that load earlier. I can definitely see why, because some of these orchards have just been opened up. So, but this one's just kind of really getting started as far as I can tell. I'm certainly not an almond expert, but I see a lot of buds. I can see further down there too, they're blooming. We're going to drive around. This orchard's in a big square plot, so we're just kind of trying to drive around, look at some of the colonies, and just check on some more of the hives. And it was just nice to meet the people that put my bees out here and, you know, are taking care of them. And it's a peace of mind coming out here. I'm glad I did. Hey, they're out working. They did tell me the pallets were very, very clean. I got a compliment, so it is nice to know all of that hard work, pressure washing and swapping those hives over was not for nothing. Of course, we didn't get washed at the ag station, so that's what it's for, but hey, a compliment is definitely nice too. I see them bringing in a little bit of yellow pollen. I really have no idea. I'm going to make the assumption it's almond pollen because I'm seeing it come in pretty steady. But they're out there doing their job. All right, here's another batch we're checking on. They're looking pretty good. Got a lot of flight over here, even though we're in the shade. And I'm not gonna open these girls. Don't feel like getting stung again. That one looks good. That's what I would like to see, is with the beard on top, hanging out. But they're pretty active. They're bringing in pollen. As far as I can tell, everybody looks healthy. Boxes look safe. And I mean, they've got nothing but, they're just surrounded by all these just infinite rows of almond trees. So they've got plenty of food. And it's really beautiful out here. I mean, just look at the flowers. Yeah, that's really gorgeous. Obviously you can't smell it on the video, but it just smells like nectar out here. It's really wonderful. It's pretty cool to see it in person. I mean, that's all it is just these huge, massive rows of almond trees everywhere you look. And then they just scatter a few hives around, all around the orchards, just to try and stretch them out, make sure everything gets pollinated. It's crazy to think they want a bee to pollinate every single one of these flowers you're seeing here. And hopefully they'll all be an almond. It's an amazing industry. It's amazing that we can just ship those hives across the country like that. They can be here safely, do their job, come home. It's pretty amazing. I'm really grateful I got to finally see it. Just driving down the road. Day's almost over, but you see how close they put a lot of these hives. Almond orchards. This is the main roadway here. It's crazy. And I swear, I'm not sure, but I swear, and I just pulled over, I promise, I didn't cheat. I pulled over and those almost look like my hives. No, I don't think they are. No, those are somebody else's. I swear, I was like, man, I was like, they look so much like my boxes. And we were just pulling over, but I thought, look, these orchards here are in full bloom, and this is where I've actually been seeing a lot of them have just been really wide open here. It smells amazing here. All I can smell are almond blooms. It's really beautiful. I'm really impressed with how clean these rows are. They've just got the hive space really nicely. It is strange having traffic run by on a major road, and that's how it is everywhere we've been driving. I'll just see 2, 3, 4 pallets on the side of the road. It's pretty crazy, but I mean, look at this. It's just absolutely gorgeous everywhere we're driving. Just almonds. Our orchards, and that was for the second broker that I filmed when I first got here, and his were just barely beginning to open. But yeah, many of them are open, and you can see a lot of the petals on the ground here, so they've probably been open for a little bit. And it was a little nippy today, but the bees were still flying. It's really awesome to actually see it. Here's some still got buds on it, still have the flowers. It's a beautiful time of day. I had to pull over and just film this because I was like, this is gorgeous. Rows and rows of fields and just beehives all over the place, right off this major road. California has turned out to be a really beautiful state. I look at the mountains in the back. It looks totally different than what I was expecting. It's really, really nice out here. But one thing I have to say is absolutely ridiculous. It's the fuel prices. They're nuts. $4.79 a gallon. That's crazy. That's well over $1 a gallon difference back from over in Florida. Diesel's way over $5. Honestly, we passed several stations in one of the other cities. They had regular gasoline for over $5 a gallon. Gas is just crazy here. But other than that, I mean, the mountains are pretty, but you got to pay for it. It's weird because water's such a big deal here. I mean, keep seeing signs like this that say no water, or if there is water somewhere, they're advertising they have water. I've seen land for sale, and they'll say, 100 acres for sale with water, with exclamation points. Like, it's such a big deal, and it's weird because back home, I'm looking for places that don't have water. I was like, we have so many swamps and creeks and flooding. And then over here, water's it's like an attraction. I've seen there's been giant water tanks on the side of the road, and they're advertising, hey, we've got water. And it's crazy. I should have brought some of that swamp water back for them. Probably could have sold it and made a little money. Finally found my first load of bees way over here in Merced. Merced, I guess that's how you call it. I don't know. I've been corrected a couple of times. I'm sorry, Californians. I don't know how to pronounce the name. But there they are. They're a little cranky. I'm a little surprised. They almost seem like they were just dropped or something. But I don't know if it's been cold or it's been raining or something. But they seem like they're still trying to orient a little bit. But here they are, and they're looking safe and sound, far as I can tell. I'm going to kind of go around and take a look at some of the other ones. You can see there's a bunch back there in a row. I think those all look like my colony, so I'm going to go check them out. It's good to see them. It's definitely a big relief. Yeah, they're out working. You can see them bringing in some pollen. I assume that's the almond pollen that's coming in. Not really bringing in a lot of it. I see some here and there. Here they are. There's definitely bees in these boxes at least. Hope they didn't swarm out. Some of these suckers were just way too big. But yeah, it's just the way they're flying. I mean, normally when I see them fly like that, for me, is when I've picked them up and recently dropped them in a new location. If they've been here for weeks, I would have thought they would have oriented, but again, I've heard the weather's been cold. I heard it's been raining a bit. If they've been cooped up, they could just be popping out. It is actually pretty warm right now. I can almost take my jacket off. It's been pretty chilly. And I do see some hives in the distance. They just seem a little jumbled for being here if they were supposed to be here this long. I don't really know why. Certainly not an expert on the almond deal. I saw a little pollen coming in. Some of the orchards we'd passed from that second load that I was filming yesterday, they were in full bloom, and a lot of those orchards you could tell they had been in full bloom because the ground was just covered in petals. But just seeing these orchards out here, I'm not seeing any petals. I'm seeing a lot of just buds, a lot of tiny buds. I mean, in some flowers, the bees are definitely working them. But, you know, I don't know. I thought these were supposed to be like almost in bloom a couple of weeks ago. And honestly, this orchard looks pretty scraggly. Now, I don't know if he moved them or decided to place them in a different orchard, but I just don't know. I'm kind of, honestly, I feel a little strange seeing that the bees seem so agitated, like they were kind of just dropped and now they're, I don't know. And you know, I didn't ask them. I do wonder if they just pollinate different orchards. Maybe they just bring the bees in, pollinate an orchard that's early bloom, and then maybe they bring them into an orchard that's pollinating different. There is a huge shortage. The broker was telling me, he thinks there's 100,000 hives short this year. So they may be spreading them around. The second broker did tell me that too. They're like dropping a few hives here and here and just trying to stretch them because they're so short this year. So I'm not sure. Maybe they're just bringing in orchards, hives into different orchards. I don't know how that works. That could be the case, but we'll see. They're definitely out working the flowers. They're doing their job. They're beautiful flowers. All right. Girls are earning that pollination money right now. Man, these hives are really active. I will say these hives are a lot more active than the second guy's bees. We got a little die off there. That's sad. And maybe they have been here for a while. A lot of those bees look pretty well decomposed. Some of the boxes are a little not straight. Poor girls. Boxes are pretty rotted anyways. They don't hold together too well, but everything, they look fine. I mean, boxes aren't damaged. I mean, that was the first one I've seen out of alignment. And again, my boxes are only a few days away from just turning to mush anyways. They're so old. We're actually going to buy some more boxes once we get this pollination money. And but I mean, the bees seem to be really working it hard. Oh, there's a drone right there. Yeah, they're really going at it. You can just see them flying around. Just tons and tons of orchards out here. Hey, there's another drone. I'm seeing quite a few of them. Oh, there it goes. That's good. As long as these suckers don't swarm while they're here, I will be able to split their guts out when they come back home. I'm going to make a lot of hives from these girls. Just please don't swarm for like the next month. This tree here is really in bloom. Bees are all over it. Man, these almond blooms they smell so strong. I mean, they smell really nice. There you go. Some of that almond pollen on there. Make a little bit of that nasty almond honey. Yeah, these hives here, they are going at it. Those hive and a halves, man, they're usually the strongest. It seems like every time they come back from almonds, even if I send the double deep stronger, I don't know why those hive and a halves are just get so juiced up. I guess they have such a small space, they can just really expand it and fill it, and I mean, they're so good. And look at that, this one's, man, they are bowling out. That's great. You can see there's a few dead bees in the grass, but I mean, nothing really significant. I mean, they certainly look pretty active from the outside. Let's see if I can open one without a smoker and not get tore up. Yeah, they still got a lot of space there. Those frames over there are empty. It's not a bad looking box. Definitely got a lot of room to grow for sure. They're nowhere near being plugged out. Yeah, here's a much better looking one. Now that's probably one of those full ones I sent. That looks a little better. Yeah, they're very healthy. And honestly, only one's trying to sting me so far. I just cracked the sucker open without a smoker. And I had to shake it a bit to get it open, so that tells me they're probably out working, getting plenty of nectar and pollen, because otherwise they would tear me up right now. A little cracked box open there. Not too bad. But I mean, nice spot to put them. We got a good road here, so they probably had no problem with setting these things down. Nice. Couple lids out of whack. Excuse me, ladies. I'll close those back up. I wasn't gonna work beehives. I just wanted to come and take a video, but I can't help myself. I want to check on my girls and straighten the lids and the boxes up, and they don't really seem to appreciate it very much, considering they're trying to zap me. Yeah, it's amazing to see that. Look at all that, and I can see out here some of these orchards actually are in bloom. I can see those like back there in that row. I mean, all that just pure white. So it's just a mix. I mean, some of the orchards, honestly, I barely even saw buds on some of them, and then some of them over here are just wide open. I can see down there. It's beautiful. Well, I definitely have to say I feel a lot better coming out here and checking on them. It was not a cheap trip. I forgot that Monday was a holiday. So yeah, the plane tickets like skyrocketed, but hey, live and learn. I thought also you needed a truck with four-wheel drive, but to be honest, every orchard I've come to has got more or less roads. There was one road that looked a little muddy, but they had chipped wood mulch. So next time I come out here, I don't see any reason to get a truck or bother with four-wheel drive. I mean, at least from the, the few orchards I saw with mine. Maybe there are some that are muddy. I've heard that some are very muddy, but with the price of fuel over here, good Lord, I'm just gonna get like a little Prius or something next time I come out here. You may as well. You can get around easier, I think. But I definitely feel a lot better. Stress levels have dropped significantly. Just feeling good that, both brokers said that we're getting paid for everything. Everything's out in the orchard. First broker, if I understood them correctly, we're gonna at least match last year's price, or maybe even sounds like a little bit more. Not positive, but anyways, we're getting paid. They're here. Everybody seems safe and sound. The few I've been able to open, equipment looks taken care of. I mean, I'm not seeing any major die-offs of the bees. They seem pretty happy, honestly. I shouldn't be able to crack 20 frame double deeps in half like that without them being pretty upset if there was something wrong. So they seem happy. They're definitely bringing in pollen. They're all over these flowers. I didn't feel a lot of weight on the hives actually with these. This first load here was extremely heavy. I think we were only 3,000 pounds under the weight limit on that semi. So I I was expecting them to grow a little more, but they just haven't. Maybe they're not bringing in much nectar, but definitely getting plenty of pollen. So we did have one casualty. I was about to leave, and one of the farm workers told me thing got tipped over maybe with a tractor. See if I can put these girls back together without a smoker. I want to find out how many stings I get, but I can't leave my girls like this. Got to fix it. I do appreciate they did throw this cover over the hives, which kept, I guess, the rain out. One of them seems fine. The other one, the medium super, was robbed out, but the bottom deep brood box seemed okay. And honestly, they only got me a couple times. They're not happy, but they're certainly not overly aggressive, which is pretty amazing. So I definitely, at least one of the two hives will make it. And honestly, if that's the only casualty of war we got for California, then I'm not too upset. There must not be a lot of nectar, because they wouldn't have been robbing out that box of corn syrup if there was fresh nectar here. Anyways, there may not be a surplus. And again, everything I've kind of tilted has been a little bit on the light side, but everything seems okay. I think it'll be a-okay. I'm gonna get out of here because they are not happy. They don't appreciate that I helped them, but I'm glad I did. I'm glad the farm workers told me right before I left. All right, I think that's it for me. I feel pretty good. I got to save a couple of my girls before going back home. Everything looks good as far as I can tell, and it's crazy. It's getting so hot here now. We were just up in the mountains and there was snow, and then I come down here and I'm like sweating already. I feel like I'm back in Florida. The terrain and climate here just like rapidly changes. I'm not used to it. I guess Florida's so flat, everything's kind of the same, and over here it's just goes from flat to hills to mountains to mix and matches of both. These huge canyons, and then it's freezing snow in the mountains, and it's burning hot down on the ground. It's an interesting state. I gotta say, it's really beautiful. But end of the day, I'm happy I came. I'm really excited. I'm definitely ready to get back home and hopefully start getting those queen cells ready and getting some queens out of there. But a mission accomplished. I found all the hives. We're getting paid. They seem safe. I saved a couple hives, so worth the trip, I guess. Not going to quite pay for the whole plane ticket for 2 hives, but you know, it certainly makes me feel good. And all right, that's it for the California trip. See you guys later. Thanks.